Welcome to the Sisterly Submitted podcast, dedicated to changing the narrative about dating after 40. If you're interested in candid, unfiltered conversations between men and women, then you found your people. This is the podcast for you.
Welcome back to part 2 of the conversation with Atlanta radio personality and eligible bachelorette, Vassier Serrano. Here's where we left off.
But even at the end of the day, even if it's not, if it's not a good date, you still will have had an experience yourself, right? Take something away for yourself. Take a souvenir. People bring bottles of sand back from the Bahamas and other tropical places, not because the sand is so expensive, it's such a great thing. It's because that's experience in the bottle. That's what they're buying. So even if it's a bad day, you still had an experience. Maybe you don't take this person with you next time, but you do it yourself because you enjoy it so much. But there's an opportunity there, to your point, to get to know the other person, spend real time with them, throw off all of this charade that people put up. This is ridiculous. And really get a chance to spend time with one another. That, to me, is missing a lot in this dating experience, even in the 40-plus range.
Yeah, because that's one of the questions that I said, well, are these younger women? Because everybody evolves, I think. And, we had our moments when we would have probably been a part of that list or subscribed to the same kinds of things. And what I'm hearing is some of these women are older women.
Yes. It's like, okay, did y'all wake up brand new? Like what? There's a lot that has changed. I get it. There's a lot that has changed from my 20s to now. I'm 50. And so the world itself has changed, right? In the way that we handle things. But what happened to common sense? And, some of those values, those old school values, they reign throughout the course of time. Common sense, patience. Well, common sense is not common. I'm learning. But, patience, quality time, these things have seemed to just disappear. Like our morals have gone, the more technology we have, the less we care about ourselves.
Right.
It's crazy. Everything is taking its place. But where's your foundation? What happened to people's foundation? It seems to change with the wind. Everything is an influence. And sometimes when I speak like this, I feel like the older people from back in the day. I remember back in my day, it wasn't like this. You couldn't wear skirts past your ankles, above your ankles. And that is very, very true. Things have changed. Times have changed. And people, I've had a man he told me to get with the times. I said, what exactly does that mean, sir? He said, what you won't do, I got 20 other women here in Atlanta that will do. I said, well, you go ahead and get your 20, baby, because I'm the one.
Right.
That won't. And I'll be just fine. I'll rest any day. My spirit will be fine. My mind will be clear. And I will smile every day with my head on my pillow, alone.
Yeah.
But sane and comfortable and peaceful.
Right, because all 20 of them have to deal with each other,
Child.
and that one man.
Yeah.
It's like, go ahead.
You're carrying your little spirit from lady to lady, but I digress. I've been down this trail, this conversation already. And that's it too.
So tell us what you thought. So I guess it was the Cosbys. That was your prototype of love. Tell us how the way you thought love would look and feel has changed over time, just with your experiences, the marriages, and all of your relationships.
So do I think the Cosby image exists? And when I say the image, I'm speaking about the image of love.
Sure.
Regardless of how you feel about, I'm talking about Cliff and Claire Huxtable. Let me be clear.
The fictional
characters. The characters on television.
Yes.
Okay. Cliff was a hardworking man. He was what people call a high-value man now, right?
Yes.
And Claire was a high-value woman.
Yes.
Both of them had their careers. They had children. Now that ship has sailed. I'm still open to children. I just don't think I'm going to be the vessel in which they come through because I'm 50.
Well, Janet Jackson.
Janet has money and nutritionist. So if I should meet somebody with Janet Jackson money, baby, we can do it. But he gonna have to have the funds because I do not. But both of them had their own careers, but they were independent people. Mm-hmm. They had their own personalities, they had their own activities, but they came together to love up on one another and to love up and raise their children. Mm-hmm. I still believe that exists. I don't believe that's fictitious. I believe that exists. But I also do realize, as we were just talking, that people's perspective of love has changed. Let's talk about the word trauma, right? Trauma is a big word. I mean, people use it like raindrops. They use it so freely, but a lot of people don't take the time to heal themselves. So what they're doing is they're recycling their trauma from person to person to person, blame to blame to blame, going in and causing rifts within their own relationships and not addressing them with themselves. And so that, to me, seems to have affected the way that we love now, right? So I'm not looking to resolve the issues that I have. When I say I mean I in a general sense, right? Mm-hmm. I'm not looking to resolve the issues that I have. What I'm looking for now is somebody that's gonna tolerate my BS, not, I'm gonna use the word, well, some people get sensitive about the word correct or the word check, mm-hmm. but both still apply. Check sure. me for, the things that I am doing, because I don't want anybody to talk to me about my trauma. Mm-hmm. I don't want to go to counseling, but I don't want my woman telling me nothing. Sure. I don't want my woman telling me that I'm hurting her and I'm doing the best that I can. Well, you're only giving me the minimum because you're not doing the best that you can. You're not seeking to heal those issues that are affecting you. So now you're giving me tainted love.
Mm. That's the accountability piece that you're talking about.
Correct. And now if you're giving me tainted love and I'm receiving tainted love, now I'm getting traumatized. And now our dysfunctional relationship don't work. And I'm going to the next relationship as a woman and I'm making that guy pay for what the other guy did.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Now he's to blame for the crime that was created by, as Music Soul Child says, by previous cats.
Mm. Now, we just talked about that yesterday.
now he's carrying the baggage that somebody else put on me. And it's just hurt after hurt after hurt after hurt. One of the greatest things I've seen, there's a gentleman, I won't mention his name. I think he's an absolutely amazing guy. And he has, I'll give him his props. Sidney V. Jackson Jr. He has an amazing platform and he speaks to men's mental health and he speaks about counseling. Well, that's something that our community for years has downplayed. Girl, you crazy? Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. You're going to counseling? Yes.
You just need to go to church.
Please.
Church doesn't solve it. You go to church, but you also need, if you have cancer, you can't just go to church.
Amen.
You got to go to church and you got to go see a medical doctor.
Correct. You need to let somebody lay hands on you and let somebody lay hands on you.
Right.
Yes, absolutely. But we have stigmatized care in our community. Why do our men not cry? Why can't they share their emotions? Because in our community, they were told, don't cry. Don't let nobody see you cry. You better not shed a tear. Punch a little boy in his chest. And tell him he better not cry. Crying is for little girls. And these men grow up not able to express themselves and have tumultuous relationships with the women they trying to love, but they can't because they don't know how or they haven't been allowed to. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm not saying I want somebody so sappy that both of us watching the Titanic, he crying, I'm crying, he crying. I'm not saying that, right? But he does need to share some emotion. Right. Oh man, that's messed up. Jack done floated away to the bottom of the ocean, the bottom of the sea. You're like, that's messed up, man. They could have had a good love. I'm cool with that. Let's have that conversation. I'm open. Baby, what's that? You had a long day? You're tired of all the stress you got to carry on your shoulders. Mm-hmm. You tired of fighting with the world? I got a lap right here. Yeah. Talk to me. Mm-hmm. I tried that. In a relationship, I'm not going to number which one it is. I tried that, but because the person was not used to love, yes, they caved to that, but they didn't know how to reciprocate. Mm-hmm. That's a lonely existence, being in a relationship with somebody who does not know how to reciprocate what it is that you're giving. You're constantly pouring, carrying, but you're not getting the same in return. which is where I think we are now with relationships, because we're not seeking healing for ourselves. We're just carrying it, like I said, from person to person, expecting that person will make it better.
Yeah. We're both on a healing journey ourselves. I've been married twice and divorced twice. And that's never pleasant. It's never pleasant to go through divorce. But I think more kind of like you, I focus on what am I taking out of it?
Yeah.
What can I learn? What have I learned about myself? What have I learned about relationships in general? And, what are the nuggets that I'm going to carry forward to my next relationship? And I don't want it to be, I don't want it to be that it was the bad stuff.
Right.
And so I'm going to stop caring about people and I'm going to stop having hope in love and relationship. I want it to be like, okay, so I know to look for this red flag, or I know that when this happens, I did a lot of counseling through that, especially my last marriage. I did individual counseling and then we did counseling together. And it really did allow me to realize how selfish I was.
Yeah.
I thought I was mature and all of that. But I realized that a lot of the decisions that I made were really selfish. They were based on what's best for Diane. And I thought I was,
being fair and balanced and open.
Right. It takes two to be in a marriage and it takes two to go through a divorce. But I really did look to find out what my role was. And I learned how to, I really learned how to navigate conflict through that process. And it's something that I will take into future relationships. And then it also helped me to recognize when the end is the end. Sometimes
that's a good one.
Sometimes you just have to say, well, you know what? White flag. I'm done. This is not working out for us. And sometimes I think we stay in relationships that are dysfunctional for too long. And we do it for a number of reasons. For me, it was I wanted to have a baby. And I wanted to do it within the context of a marriage. That didn't work out. Yeah. And I kept trying and we were having difficulties. But finally, I just had to say, this is not working for us as a couple. And we just need to finally go our separate ways. My husband was the one who actually filed initially. And I was like, no, let's not get a divorce. And we kind of went back and forth. But finally, at the end of the day, after a lot of counseling and therapy and healing and, really identifying what my role was, I just said, I think it's probably better for us not to be together. And sometimes that's what you have to take away from a relationship.
That's when you grow. That's when that is a point of growth right there, and recognizing that, I've matured to this place now. I understand that this is not beneficial for either one of us, and having to pull that trigger and make that decision.
So Vassier, going through, all of the trauma that you experienced growing up as a child, and then, just the different relationships, what is it that keeps you so positive? And, what is it that you take with you? Because I know you said you experienced some depression over the years. How do you keep positive? How do you stay positive now? Just day to day. Do you have rituals that you participate in? How do you stay? Because you appear to be such a wonderful, you've got this glow about you. You're very positive. And when I see people like you, you have been married. It's not like you've never been married.
Right.
But people often go, well, she's beautiful. Why isn't she married? But what is it that helps you to maintain, that attitude of, I'm not going to let what my past was dictate what my future is?
To be 100% honest with you, I do have difficult days, but I usually have those days alone and I process. But what keeps me going more than anything, going back to that relationship that I built with God myself. You know, I felt as though in my 30s, he put me on an island. I lived in Orlando. When I moved to Orlando, he put me on an island, and I cut off the things that drew my attention more than anything, television and radio. You could not get me off those two things. I gave away my television, gave away my sound system at the time. I joined a ministry, and I got the opportunity to see other people. The ministry that I joined took in people that were homeless. In exchange for shelter, they would, you know, fix things around the church, pull the church together and stuff like that. And I began to go out into the street and minister, winning souls for Christ. And that experience was the first I'd ever had in a group setting where I saw so many people in community helping one another. You know, now whether they had other expectations, I don't know. I'm just speaking on what I saw. And the love that was exchanged, that let me know that love was available. And if you genuinely believe that God is love, then you know it is there for you. It is out there for you. I'm going to remain hopeful. I ain't gonna lie. One time I used to think I was Snow White, honey. I used to think I was Snow White. Like, I'm going to open this window, need birds are going to talk to me. Little squirrel. Even today I was looking at a squirrel. I was like, you were so pretty. I love animals. And it's just, that gives me joy. That gives me hope. And joy, that's the key word. I have found that unspeakable joy that surpasses understanding. Wow. And I refuse to let anybody take that from me, any situation. Yes, again, I have rough days, like everybody. And there are days that I'm down on myself and just like, you know what? There's got to be something better than what's currently going on, or there's something else I want to do. And I understand, I feel like I have a platform. Even when it comes to radio, I've been doing radio off and on since I was 16 years old. I went and got my own mentors in high school. I've worked for so many broadcasting companies, but I had not been on air on an FM radio since the 90s. And we can sit here and talk about that whole move of God that got me on air here in Atlanta, but we're not gonna go through all of that. But even with that, radio is not my identity, right? It provides me a platform. And the thing that brings me the most joy is people. So I say everything that I have been through, I don't believe any of this, regardless of the scars on my body, the scars on my heart, the scars on my mental. I know that what I've been through is for somebody else. So I carry that joy inside of me, knowing that in this moment I have a platform in radio that I'm going to touch somebody, that my voice is going to be a healing for somebody or a path for somebody. I don't know who that is. And again, Diane, I gotta say, I'm so elated to be here because you heard my voice and we met at an event, a nonprofit event, almost 2 years ago.
Yeah, a couple of years ago.
Yeah. And she heard my voice and it rang out to you for what your purpose was, right? And I'm hopeful that that same energy, that same joy. Sometimes I gotta sit and listen to gospel music to get my hair right before I crack that mic because it's important to me, the energy that I'm putting out there. I know that I'm a beacon. And it's like, it might not happen today. Yeah. It might not happen tomorrow, but it's gonna happen.
And you don't even know how many people you're touching. Like
exactly.
I was driving down the street when I heard you the other day and I was just like,
Exactly. Yeah. So that's it. It's that joy. It's that joy knowing that it ain't just about me. It's about other people. And even when it comes to the relationship space, yes, I've been through 3 divorces. The only one that really, really hurt was the first one. Because like I said, that second one, it was like, ooh, thanks for coming out. Peace, good night. The last one, it was just like, oh yeah, it's time. It's been time. It's been time. Okay, fine. It's been time.
So now you may not want to answer this because you are a personality, but do you have a celebrity crush? Is there anybody who might, that you may not know exactly what they really are like, but anybody that you're like,
I had a few celebrity crushes.
Yeah, come on, tell us who. Share.
Somebody gonna get me.
Are they single?
As long as they're single, because I do my research. They are single. It is what it is. Okay, I'm not gonna run down the entire list.
Okay.
Some people I can't say because of the proximity. because I got some crushes. I have tall men, I have short men. And when I say short men, men that are shorter than I am, but are in amazing physical condition. Arts pieces of work, I swear. But Christian Keys is a celebrity crush.
Okay.
And I think he's one of the sweetest people I've ever come across. I think he's very, very genuine, despite what some people might want to say. Right now, he's, hot in the news. Some of the other people I follow, I don't think I will mention them because I actually don't know whether they're single or not. I just know they're in impeccable shape. I mean, and simple stuff like The Rock. I think The Rock is absolutely gorgeous.
We share a birthday with The Rock.
Do you? Just touch my shoulder. Just through the spirit. Respectfully, I think he's a married man, or he's very involved. I'm not about to go down this entire list. It's not a really big list, but I'll tell you this. I love beautiful men. Mm-hmm. So going back to that attraction thing. Yeah. A brother can be short, but fine to me. Right? He can't be short and unattractive. And he might have all the money in the world. I think it's really, really important to be attracted to your mate. I'm not attracted to, not saying I want to be with a broke guy. And when I say broke, I mean broken spirit and broken finances. Yeah. However, you could be short, very attractive to me. I might talk to you. And when I say attractive, I'm not just talking about this. I'm talking about the heart, how you work with people, your humility, all that stuff matters to me, and I watch deeply. But yes.
A lot of shorter guys sometimes like tall women. My ex-husband was short, and he liked, of course, I'm not tall, but he liked tall women.
Tall women.
Yeah.
Listen,
he liked when I wore high heels and stuff like that. Yes. I was like, okay, I'm like your height now.
Like I said in the very beginning, there were times when it was just like, yo, give me monkey bars. There was a guy that I was just having conversation with, and he was 6'10". And I was like, boy, this workout got me climbing every day.
That just doesn't seem like you could even slow dance with them. You're like, oh.
Who's trying to slow dance? I'm all the way grown. I'm 50. I'm not trying to be shy about this thing. But it didn't work out. But it's okay. It didn't work out. But I was like 6'10", sign me up. But he was a nice guy. It just didn't work out distance. Distance is an issue.
I saw a movie once that said that if you spent enough time with someone, that you could fall in love with them, whether you were attracted to them or not. Do you think that's true?
I do not.
I don't either, and I tried it.
Because it's like a switch, right? There has to be something that turns off that switch that says not available. It's like the Krispy Kreme donut sign. Yes. When the store closed, the store is closed. It is not hot and ready.
That is so
good.
No,
the hot and ready is the pizza. But whatever they say when they turn that light on, when the donuts are hot or ready, whatever, it's like you can be in somebody's presence, and if you're just not attracted to them in that way, they could be a nice person. They could be the greatest person in the world. But if you just don't feel that, or you're not going to be drawn, you're like, you know what? He's a great guy, but for somebody else.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. I have an example for that. It's actually on television. So I was on season 13. Episode 13 of TV One's Asking for a Friend, hosted by Lisa Ray McCoy. Okay. And the gentleman that I was on a date with, he's a really, really, really nice guy. He just wasn't for Vassier. Mm-hmm. You understand? I can look at him and say, yo, he's mad cool. He's a amazing guy. Great for somebody else. It's just not a fit for me. And we could probably work in the same space all day long, and I'm still going to feel that way at the end of the day. It's just, it wasn't my vibe. Right.
So that's part of what this whole community is about. So same here. Like, I have met really great guys, single guys who are quality men. And just like the guy on the show that you did, he wasn't your guy, but he might be somebody else's guy. Absolutely. And so this community of singles over 40, we want to create a space so that your guy and my guy, the guys that I know that are great, that aren't necessarily for me, they might be for you or her or whoever.
Absolutely.
But we can vouch for, like, you know, hey, I know this person is a great guy.
I already vetted him.
Yeah, you know,
like
and
that.
so this, you know, this is the beginning. The podcast is kind of the beginning, just kind of getting that voice out there and getting the message out. And then our hope is to like have, you know, events and things like that, so that your great guy and my great guys and our great guys can, you know, all come together, and we can maybe do some speed dating and
I like that
maybe
idea.
some travel, or who knows, you know, what the bigger picture is going to be down the line.
It's really, people are always like, oh, you know, after you work and you go through everything that you go through in life, you just want to relax.
Listen, and you know what? I do want somebody to be able to relax with, right? Because I literally work 7 days a week. And I make time for what's important to me. Now, that's not to say I haven't invited some people over, but I'm not dating any of those people. So, especially since I live alone, and now I'm like, before I was living in an apartment, it was easier to conceal. But as a single woman going in and out of my house, I've invited a few male friends over for that presence. So, you know, some people can see that there are guys coming. But as far as dating is concerned, I really got to know somebody before I decide to share my space with them for a while, because I need to know. You can invite me over. I'll come over. I will come over. In the meantime, y'all take notes. What the bathroom looked like. You knew I was coming over. You could have at least cleaned the bathroom. Like, that nasty. Does it smell like a locker room in here? Because I'm not trying. Let me tell you something. In my next stage in life, whatever my partner is, we're going to have a maid. I work 7 days a week. I don't want to come home and have to also clean up after you and me. It's me and the cat right now. Sometimes the cat be looking at me, so when you doing laundry?
All right, so it's game time.
Oh, sweat.
All right, so we're going to play a little this or that so that we can get to know you a little bit better. And so what we're going to do is Dawn is going to give you 2 options, and you say which one resonates most with you.
Okay.
All right.
All right. So do we put some time on the clock? Is it time? We're going to, even if we don't get to them,
on the clock.
we're still going, we're going to get these answers.
Okay.
All right. You ready?
I think I'm ready.
Okay.
Go.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Stilettos or sneakers?
Stilettos.
Beach or mountains?
Beach.
City or suburbs?
City.
Nerd or thug?
A nug?
Nerd or thug?
I said
She
a
said a
nug.
nug. A little bit of both, right? I like that.
Yes.
Yeah. You
Yes.
gotta have somebody with, he has to have a little bit of edge.
Yes.
You know, so yeah.
Some
All
people
right.
like to be choked. I'm just saying.
All right. Grits with sugar or salt?
Sugar.
We do
Sugar.
too. It's like everybody's so, it's a secret.
Because you're in the South, they will cut you if you say that out loud.
All right. New Edition or B2K?
Yes. New Edition.
Yes, all day long. All
Not
right.
that B2K wasn't good,
Yeah.
but New Edition all day long.
Tupac or Biggie?
Tupac.
See, you're a girl after my own heart.
Listen, everybody likes
Hip
to choke a
hop
little
or
bit.
house?
Hip house.
Hip house. Okay. So you're from the Midwest, so yeah, we're Chicago. So we had, but we're still. I'm partial to hip hop now. All right, do it yourself or TaskRabbit?
Do it myself. Remember, I don't like to ask for help.
Oh right.
Especially if I got to pay for it.
And then sex calendar, twice a week or twice a month?
Damn. Depends on the man.
Because
Because if you ask my last husband, twice a year.
oh my goodness.
Wasn't that good? Sorry. Cut that part out. That's it.
That's the good stuff.
Well, that's fun. That's always fun. So thanks for playing along.
Okay, so now that has, I have to answer. I have to ask this one real quick.
What you got?
With the twice a week or twice a month, does it depend? So you said it depends on the partner.
Yes, I believe different partners bring different things out of you.
Yeah,
I absolutely believe that. I've had partners, and I'm not talking about just my husbands. I'm talking about I've had partners, and I'm just like. Then I've had other partners. I'm like, that's it.
Right. Yes.
I don't even cook. Can I cook you some eggs?
Which also that speaks to the whole part of, can you fall in love with somebody you're not attracted to? It's just not there. If it's not there, it's not there. And what you might like on a regular day, you get with the wrong person, you're like, oh God.
That's where these relationships of convenience come into play. This is why women are with men they don't really love, but the men are taking care of them because there's an aesthetic there. I got this beautiful girl on my arm and I keep giving her money and she going off spending the money. And she was like, girl, please, I got 5 boyfriends. Yeah. They are real. They really, really exist. I don't want that type of relationship with nobody. My time is too valuable for myself. I'm spinning my wheels with somebody I'm not even attracted to.
I used to think as a younger woman that I wanted all of this. I wanted this particular life. Mm-hmm. And I thought that I could be with a man even if I didn't love him. As I've gotten older, I realize for some women, I know that it's happening.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
Me either. When I moved to Atlanta, I have a picture, and I'm actually going to be putting it out again with some things to say, but I have a picture where I had nothing but pennies, dimes, and nickels. That's all I had left to my name. And I just started selling cars and moved into my own space. And I came to realize, because I would put Post-it notes up around my room to keep myself encouraged. This is only temporary. Because I had left my corporate job in Orlando. And so I came here, I really didn't have no money. All I had was what was in my car at the time. And it's just like, I'm literally scraping everything that I can. And now I'm selling cars and car sales aren't going that well and everything. And kept myself encouraged. And I just kept putting Post-it notes. Whatever I felt as though God was speaking to me, I would write it on a Post-it note and stick it up around the room. And one of those things was, stop prostituting your greatness. Wow. And that is how I feel about women who will be with a man for the sake of their money and have no attraction to them whatsoever. They are prostituting their greatness. Pretty sure we all have a purpose. So instead of tapping into their purpose, they rather lay up with a man for the sake of $1. That does not work for me. Yeah. To each his own. Live your life how you want to live your life. But you got a corrupt spirit if that's what you choose to do. Because it goes back to selfishness. As long as I get whatever I want, whenever I want it, as long as I'm taken care of, I'm fine. There's no concern for the other person. You don't have any care for their well-being. The only concern you have is if they get sick, where my next check coming from? I don't know how anybody lives like that. That's not a conscious being. So, yeah, don't prostitute your greatness. And I tell my young women that all the time.
You need to say that one into the camera.
Men, women, however you choose to identify, never, under any circumstance, prostitute your greatness. You have a purpose. There's a plan for your life. Look to operate in that. Seek to operate in that. And anything that you want, you will get. But you don't have to subject yourself, the great person that you are, for anybody and for any gain. After these messages, we'll be right back.
So, Vassier, it's been such a pleasure having you, getting to know you better, and just hearing about your story and how you've come from some really humble beginnings and just have created this fabulous life for yourself with this wonderful, wonderful disposition and just message of hope and resilience. And so
thank you.
Before we wrap, we just wanted to give you an opportunity to promote any projects you might be working on or give any shout outs.
Cool beans. Okay, well, you can hear me every Saturday and Sunday, 10 to 3, Atlanta's classic R&B station, Classics 102.9. I am your weekend girl. But besides that, this year I have signed on with the Just Us Mental Health Foundation. It's the Black Men's Mental Health Conference. It's a traveling mental health conference for Black men. And I am the conference moderator this year. So I'll be traveling a little bit. Alabama, Atlanta, Mississippi. I know we have another date on the calendar. There's one in Dayton, but I won't be doing that one. So that's one thing I have going on. There is another women's conference that is happening in September, but I'm still waiting on the additional information for that. So I will be emceeing that event. And I'm working on my book.
Oh.
I have these t-shirts for you ladies. My book is 3 strikes, but still in the game of love.
Oh,
My little
that's so
self on there.
cute.
She's still slinging her bat.
I love it.
So this is a shirt for each of you.
Well, thank you.
So I'm working on that book, and it speaks to my different marriages and what my takeaways were for myself.
Okay.
Right? Now, we try to stay away from bashing people, but I'm more focused on because whatever their experience was is for them to take and process.
Sure.
And my experience is the same for me, but I definitely want to use my experience to help others in the relationship space. I'm really, really big on that. So that is what I'm working on. I started working on the book last year, but I got sidetracked. I'm still doing some modeling, commercial print, a little bit of acting every now and then. So, booking when I can, as I can. Other than that, the world is my oyster. I'm open for other opportunities. I'm here for that. As far as my social media, you can find me on Instagram and on IG under Vassier Serrano. I'm the only Vassier in the United States. First name Vassier. You'll find several last names, but I'm 3 strikes, but still in the game of love. So I've been married a few times. It's okay. It's all me. I can't. Little known Black history fact. They're all me. But that's it. That's everything I got going on.
Well, it sounds like you're going to be really busy. It's going to be an awesome 2024.
Yes, already. It's an awesome 2024.
Very good.
So we got the whole year ahead of us.
We do.
And I'm glad. Look how it started the year. Dopeness. Look, I believe in being in the presence of greatness. That is how I fuel myself. I never want to be the smartest person in the room because that's a scary thought. If I'm the smartest person in the room, I'm doing something extremely wrong. So I'm thankful to be in your presence today. And just, you guys have great energy, besides the twin power or whatever. You're just so lighthearted. And I love to see Black women in a space where they're uplifting one another. So this is beautiful. I like it.
Well, good. It's such a pleasure to have you, Vassier.
Thank you.
You have been just a wealth of knowledge and experience, sharing your experiences, because it's personal. And sometimes it's difficult to tell your story, but we appreciate you being just an open book for us so that we can, and we look forward to reading 3 strikes, to fill in some of the blanks. You gave us the short version, but look forward to seeing that. So all the best to you and
Thank you.
that and all of your projects. The Weekend Girl.
Weekend girl.
And that used to be my song too. So I love it every time your show starts because they play that
Exactly.
song.
That's my jam. I help round out my day. Thank
Well,
you.
good.
All in our PJs and stuff. I mean, if you're going to do it right.
Right.
What does your shirt say? Break stereotype. Not
It says
hearts.
break stereotypes, not hearts.
I like that.
One of our slogans, hopeful romantics. We're all breaking stereotypes, not hearts. And this is for all of us, the men, the women, we're not, love after 40, it exists. And it looks a little bit different than what people try to make it.
It does exist as long as people are sane
Yeah.
and they stick to their foundations.
Yeah.
It exists.
We'll find our people.
We got some good people out there.
Yeah.
They're out there. Just
It's
like
just
we're here.
the right person at the right time.
Yeah, somewhere out here in the multiverse. Right. We married again. And we're on our first marriage. Somewhere in the multiverse, we're on our first marriage. Or we're just dating that first person. So it's going to happen.
This episode was sponsored by Fertile Myrtle Publishing. Get your glamorous life set to manifest love, wealth, and a life of bliss. Available on Amazon.
Well, thank you again, Vassier. It was such a pleasure having you on the Sisterly Submitted podcast.
Thank you.
Make sure to check us out next week for a new episode on Thursday. We'll see you next time.